I just got home. It's kind of a big day for me. On my doorstep was a box, and what I got in this box is a J-pipe. So what we're gonna do right now, we're just pretty much gonna be looking at the unboxing right now, see how good this is packaged, and then we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the quality of it, and then we're gonna put it in the car. So let's go ahead and start unboxing and take a look at it right after that. So what I ended up picking up was this Depo Catless J pipe, and I was a little nervous about it because of the price point on this thing. It's only 200 bucks, but I figured I'd give it a try because after looking at other J pipes and trying to figure out what looked good, I figured out that this J pipe looks like it's almost or pretty much an exact ripoff of the ETS Catless J pipe. Because if you look at the photos, you'll see that like everything's the same, from this flex joint to the bracket, the V-band, that sensor from the first version of the ETS, that bung, pretty much everything is exactly the same. But obviously the craftsmanship of this is going to be a little bit different. So we'll just kind of look at stuff real quick. Zoom in on that. There's a weld right there. Look at that. I mean, everything looks like it's okay, so I'm not really that worried about it, but 200 bucks is not very much for something like this, you know, when you're competing with the big names that are like $600 to $700. So we'll go ahead, pull the car in, and start bolting it up and see how it fits. So if you've never taken your skid plate off before, there's a clip here, here, and here, and the same on the other side. And underneath, you gotta get this one, and that one, the 3 in the front, and then your 2 bolts that go right here. And then the skid plate will just come off, for the splash guard. And then, now you can take off the skid plate, and I'm gonna get these 2 bolts right there, and the 2 in the back, and then we'll take that plate off. Okay, now that I got the splash guard and the skid plate off, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the bolts on the turbo with this PV blaster and do everything else. And hopefully by the time I get to those bolts, it'll soak down a little bit and it might help a little bit. So let's get going. Taking a look under the car where I'm gonna start, I'm gonna break free this O2 sensor and the one that's up here. I'm gonna break those free, and then I'm gonna unclip them from the connector. I'm gonna take off this heat shield so that I can get better access to the bolts. So there's a bunch of 10 millimeters around this heat shield. I'm gonna take those all off right now, and then hopefully this just drops off really easy and I can see what else I gotta get to. Okay, so I got the first heat shield off here. That O2 sensor's off, the back one's loose, and I'm gonna unscrew it and unclip it. I got the heat shield off, and I broke these 2 nuts loose already. And on top of here, on top of this bracket, try to focus a little bit, on top of here there's a bolt back that way that you got to get out. there's this bolt right here. That one has been a huge pain in the butt, and trying to get at it at any angle is really tough. And I sprayed it with PB Blaster. That was really hard. So what I ended up doing was coming from the top here and getting it from the top of the engine bay, and it broke it loose pretty easy. Of course I had like a few extensions and to get down there, and it was pretty tough. But now I can get this top bracket off up here. Right here, I'm gonna loosen that bolt, pull this out, and then I should be able to get to the other bolts pretty easy. Well, after freaking forever, it's as bad as everyone says getting this thing out of here. You know, I've done plenty of downpipes in my day, but I have never done one of these J pipes, and these are by far the worst exhaust thing I've ever done. I mean, it was a huge pain in the butt getting those bolts off. It's mostly just the top one. I mean, it's just, that top right bolt is so hard to get, and I ended up using freaking 1/2-inch drives and a swivel, and I don't know how people do it with a 3/8 drive ratchet extension and stuff. I mean, if you don't have the right tool, I get it. I understand how people are stripping out the bolts so easily. So anyways, got this one out. Let's put this one in, let's test fit it and see how it looks. Got everything all back together. Got that top heat shield back on with that bolt right there and that bolt right there. Holds that heat shield back on. Let's see, let's get under the car. Here's how the exhaust looks. Bolted up pretty nice. Got the V-band right there. That bolt right there lined up. The gasket right there all lined up. So now I'm ready to start it up. Okay, finally got everything all back together. Now I'm going to go in here. Find my keys. And you know what comes next. Alright. Accessport is loading. Gonna go back. Go down the tune. Change map. I'm going to reflash from my map performance stage 1. I'm going to do the stage 291. Okay, now that I'm done and I got everything flashed over to the new map, I know that this isn't what you're supposed to use as far as tunes go. Cobb always wants the high flow cat version, and until I can get an E-tune done, I'm going to be rocking this for probably a week, put my intake on and finish the rest. I'm gonna go get Lindsay and have her start up the car, and we're gonna do a little sound test. Let's go.
It'll be a minute while I pump it up.
Do you have to?
I gotta at least pull it closer.
We're ready.